Well, hello there, my little wire hangers, and welcome to day 1 of 31 films of Halloween 2.0. Yes, y'all, this is the second year in a row I'm doing this. I must be crazy. And y'all must be crazy too. Crazy enough to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Another Scream Queen 76. Whew, y'all some brave little toasters, though, to be back here again, because I don't even know if I could deal with my shenanigans again, and I'm the one doing this. Y'all deserve a medal. But let's get into it, and let me preface this video with, it may run a little longer than some of my other ones, because the film I'm going to discuss, I could probably go on endlessly about. And that film is 1981's Mommie, Dearest. I know what some of y'all gonna say. Michael, Mommie Dearest ain't no horror movie. And to that I say, I'm picking up what you're throwing down and introducing you to Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. That is terrifying. I'm about to pee my pants. But I get what you're saying. Mommie Dearest is not your traditional horror movie. There's no vampires, there's no werewolves, there's no serial killers, there ain't no ghosts coming out the wall to go boo. Mommie Dearest has got a lot of melodrama. It's more melodrama than this YouTube channel, if you can believe it. Some unintentional humor, which goes right into camp, but it's got some pretty horrifying moments in it. And if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm referring to. But before I get into the movie, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the source material from which it came, which is the true story, Mommie Dearest, written by Christina Crawford. All right, buckle up, buttercups, because I'm about to have a history lesson with y'all, at least for the folks who don't know the whole story. So, Christina Crawford was the adopted daughter of Hollywood classic film star Joan Crawford. And Joan Crawford made a great name for herself. She's widely known and highly regarded, and for some, highly hated. But she starred in silent pictures to begin with, and then she graduated into talkie films and was signed on at MGM, made some great films like Grand Hotel and A Woman's Face. And then when roles dried up there, she went to Warner Brothers. First picture out of the gate, she won the Best Actress Oscar for Mildred Pierce. 5 stars, highly recommend. You will thank me later. And then she, made some other great films. She got 2 more Oscar nominations. She starred in one of my favorite films, the classic Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Bette Davis. I know y'all are shocked. And yeah, she had a really great career. Unfortunately, after she passed away, Christina decided to write a tell-all memoir about her childhood growing up with Joan. And this story centered around a lot of very alarming child abuse. And people ask me whether or not I think any of it is true. And this is a slippery slope, y'all, because it's child abuse. And to that, I have to say, I was not there at the time, contrary to popular belief. And you know who I'm talking about with your accusations on my age. Shameful. Anyway, I was not there at the time, so I can't say yay or nay. I do believe that the role of mother was one that Joan should have turned down. I believe she was a strict disciplinarian. The differences between the book and the film are that the film takes what Christina accused Joan of and inflated it a great deal, like really super embellished. And in fact, Christina kind of disowned the film, even though she received quite a hefty sum of money for the movie rights. She said it was very, very inaccurate. Even though the seed of what the instances of abuse were taken and just snowballed into something entirely different. I would like to believe that these things about Joan are not true because I love her movies. And I think that she probably should have made better choices when it came to raising her children. I did a lot of research on YouTube regarding Christina's allegations, and I had actually not read this book until I decided to make this my first post of the Halloween season. And so I watched her in a lot of interviews, and she contradicts herself at certain points, and there are certain questions that she evades. She never really answers why she decided to publish this book after Joan's death. My guess is that she didn't want to make waves in case she received an inheritance. If you've read the book and you've seen the movie, we all know how that turned out. But I know that I've spent a lot of time talking about the book, so let's get on to the movie. As I said, Mommie, Dearest was released in 1981, and it stars Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford. And something doesn't feel right, y'all. I can't really put my finger on it, but something seems a little off. Oh, I know what it is.
Tina! Bring me the axe!
Whew, Lord have mercy. I knew something was missing, but I just could not figure out what it was, y'all. Lord, I look like Faye Dunaway playing Joan Crawford with a hormone problem. And check out them eyebrows. More on those later, though. Anywho, as I was saying, Mommie, Dearest from 1981 stars Faye Dunaway as Joan Crawford. And Faye Dunaway had a really great career throughout the 60s and 70s, at least until she made this movie. But she won an Oscar for Network, and she also starred in Bonnie and Clyde and a favorite of mine, Chinatown. It also stars Diana Scarwood as the as the adult Christina Crawford, Retanya Alda as Carol Ann, who was like Joan's assistant throughout her career. And then we have Mara Hobel, who played the young Christina Crawford. So, Lord, this hair, y'all, all up in my face. So if you've seen this movie, you know there are some just such quotable moments. So let's get that out of the way. We've got...
Clean up this mess!
And we also have...
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt.
And my personal favorite...
Don't fuck with me, fellas! This ain't my first time at the rodeo.
So, yes, the movie is extremely quotable. And even though the topic is a serious, heavy one, the movie was not effective in the manner that they thought it was going to be. The movie was directed by Frank Perry, and from what I've read, Faye was not very happy with his direction whatsoever. He didn't really try to rein in her performance. I don't know, y'all. She could have had like a whole team of lion tamers, and I don't think it would have tamed this performance. And the movie also have 4 screenwriters. So as you're watching it, the transition from one moment to the next is lightning fast, and it's almost jarring in a way, because the timeline is all skewed. It just doesn't make sense how quick the transitions are. And of course, this movie is well known for some of its notorious scenes. One of them is in which Christina is served a raw steak for dinner. According to Joan, it's just rare. Girl, that steak is raw. I mean, it's about to move and get up off the plate and go back to the stable. And then we also have the scene where Christina is sitting in front of Joan's vanity, and she's kind of play acting, like she's got some stuff in her hair, and she's talking in a hairbrush, and she's pretending to be a big movie star. Well, Miss Jones, she don't like that nonsense. She comes up in there, and she's like rip-roaring mad, and grabs the scissors, and she starts hacking off Christina's hair. I was like, good Lord have mercy on my soul, this poor child. And then, of course, we have the infamous wire hanger scene. Now, this scene in the book lasts about half a page, maybe 3/4 of a page. In the movie, it lasts much, much longer, and it has a much larger impact. And in fact, Christina has gone on record to say that is not how it happened. So you have to take this movie with a grain of salt, because even though it takes the kernels of Christina's allegations, as I said, it inflates them to the extreme, to the camp extreme, but more on that in a second. So back to the scene with the wire hangers. So Miss Joan waltzing up into Christina and Christopher's room. I don't know, she can't sleep or something. And she's looking through the closet at all the nice clothes that she bought and that she worked her fingers to the bone to buy. And all of a sudden she comes across a wire hanger. Lord Jesus. She done flipped her shit. I mean, the woman becomes possessed. I mean, like demon possessed. She grabs a hold of this hanger, and of course everybody knows the line, no wire hangers. What are wire hangers doing in this closet when I specifically said no wire hangers? I'm like, get some therapy, honey. It's just a wire hanger. Come on now. But I guess because it was, holding on to a $300 dress is what pissed her off. And from what I understand and what I read, Joan had a very tumultuous upbringing. She came from a broken home, really had nothing, like poverty level, and she endured quite a bit of abuse herself growing up. So it's said that this wire hanger triggered something in her mind from when her mother was working at a laundry mat, and it was just a really bad time. So that's where the connection falls for that. But Lord have mercy, she finds this wire hanger. She's like, Christina, get out of this bed. And she like starts beating her with the wire hanger, which, as Christina has said, it did not happen that way at all. Yes, she had a shit fit over the wire hangers, and she popped her around the ears, according to the memoir. But the whole beating with the wire hanger didn't happen. And then, of course, you barely have time to recover from that. Faye Dunaway is off the chain. So she goes into the bathroom, and she's squatting there like a sumo wrestler. And she all of a sudden is under the delusion that the bathroom is not clean. I'm like, girl, that place is spotless. I mean, you can see the little sparkles shining off the tiles. I don't know what kind of eyeballs you got, but you need to go to the eye doctor. So she comes up to Christina and like, I can't even do the face. Like, it's something out of a horror movie. Like, Linda Blair, look out, you about to be replaced. And Faye's got this like kabuki style makeup on, as, I mean, her makeup job is way better than this. But she grabs Christina and hauls her into the bathroom and tells her they gotta scrub this floor. And she gets out a can of Ajax or Dutch Boy, and she starts flinging it all over the place and scrubbing at the bathroom. I mean, it is full on meltdown. Now, in the book, these two things didn't happen back to back. There was a couple of days or so in between as a respite, but the movie did not portray it that way. It was just like one hit after another. And this movie was trying to go on a serious route. And when it was released and people went to the theater, they started laughing. And for good reason, especially the bathroom scene. I was dying laughing. I was like, girl, you need to calm down with a Dutch boy. It's getting everywhere. And so they had to remarket the movie as a comedy. And I think one of the taglines was, no wire hangers, the mother of all movies. So, of course, this pissed Faye Dunaway off. And she was just not having it. Because Faye was bound and determined that she was going to get an Oscar for this performance. She did not win an Oscar and she did not get nominated. However, she won a Razzie Award for her performance. In fact, the film itself won 5 Razzie Awards. So all this happens when Christina is younger. When Christina grows up, she is sent away to a private school, and then she ends up getting caught in a tryst with another boy, so Joan sends her to a Catholic school. So she's kind of shifted here and there and everywhere. And some of the more unhinged moments between adult Christina and Joan Crawford, particularly the one where Joan attempts to strangle her. There is a moment where Joan was talking to a reporter, and she states that Christina was kicked out of school, which Joan took her out of school, basically. She wasn't really kicked out. And this ensues a knockdown, drag-out fight. And Joan literally attacks her, and the way the scene plays out, as an audience member, you're thinking, should I be laughing at this? I mean, this shouldn't be funny, but it kind of is, because it's so ludicrous and ridiculous and over the absolute top. And it's because of Faye's performance. And I think Faye was, channeling her method acting, and it just sank the film. Now, there are some people out there who think, yes, she definitely deserved an Oscar nomination. Me, she deserves something, but it was not an Oscar nomination. And then there is another moment later on in the film where Christina is starting to get more acting jobs. She's been on stage, in theater and stuff, but she did get a reoccurring gig on a soap opera. Well, unfortunately, she had an appendicitis and she had to be hospitalized. And the producers were trying to figure out a way to replace her character for the time she'd be out of commission. And so they get Joan Crawford to substitute in her part. Well, this character is 28 years old, and at this point, Joan Crawford is probably at least 60, I think, possibly. I mean, she's definitely too old to be playing a 28-year-old. It is utterly ridiculous. Now, I will say that the movie does have some things going for it. The set design is impeccable. The costumes are fantastic. But the hair and makeup, man, ain't worth a damn. I mean, let me talk about Joan's eyebrows. Faye's eyebrows. These bitches were, literally like this big. Like, when she first comes onto the screen, I was like, I forgot how large they were. They should have been listed in the credits. They're so big. And it's really kind of a distraction throughout the film. Joan Crawford had some pretty bold eyebrows, but good Lord have mercy. It was like a freaking 6-lane highway above each eyeball. Oh, Lord. But as I said, the performances here are very over the top. Diana Scarwood is extremely and she's a decent actress too, but I really think the script did a disservice to everyone. Now, I will say the one performance for me that stands out is Mara Hobel as the young Christina. And unfortunately, she received a Razzie Award as well for this movie. But this little girl, I mean, the things that she has to endure in these scenes where Joan is just tormenting her to no end. I mean, she does so well in this film. She was probably my favorite part of the whole movie, aside from Faye's eyebrows. But as I was saying, unfortunately, Faye's career took a downward slope because this movie was mocked, made fun of. It was almost treated like the Rocky Horror Picture Show where people dressed in costumes and bring props. I mean, folks were bringing cans of Ajax and wire hangers to the screenings of this film. So, I know I have rambled on and on and on about this movie, and I could go on and on and on even more because I'm sure I missed a few things here and there. So, I am going to give Mommie Dearest 4 eyebrows. No, I'm going to give it 4 pumpkins. And check it out. It's just, you know you shouldn't be laughing, but my God, it's freaking hilarious. So until next time.
No wire hangers!
Come on now, y'all didn't think I really wasn't going to do it, did ya?